right, welcome out to our first episode of the first podcast of the Pirates Cove. Um, and I got to be honest, I didn't think that we were going to be doing any type of podcasting when it came to the Pirates Cove when I first thought about doing this page. So let me kind of give you a little bit of information on what the Pirates Cove is. So I just kind of I've always been a supporter of the Pirates athletics, whether it be football, basketball, baseball, volleyball. I was a big supporter when I was in school of these sports, and I remained a supporter even after school. And of course, my children have participated in sports, and so I've always been a big fan. So I just kind of wanted to put some a social media page out there on Facebook and Twitter, just kind of updating people that you know what the athletes here in Rockport are doing. It's just another way of just kind of supporting them and showing the kids that participate in varsity sports here in Rockport that the community backs them up. And we got a pretty good following. It's been a little slow because I have two other podcasts that we do as well, but I've been picking kind of some steam up a little bit, and I've been able to follow up some of the sports. We did football to see how it was going to work out. I followed a little bit of basketball. The girls went pretty far. The basketball girls went 3 rounds into the playoffs, and so I decided to go ahead and try to do a podcast. And we were going to do it next year. We're going to start off with football and volleyball, but things got going, and I was able to talk to Johnny Zavala, and I asked him, hey, would you like to do a podcast, with the softball girls instead of waiting till next year? We kind of agreed on it, so here we are. So we'll see how it goes. We're going to be doing a weekly podcast every Wednesday on the Rockport-Fulton Lady Power softball team. And so this is our first one. And of course, I've got Johnny Zavala. His daughter plays on the team. I think she's a senior. So, Johnny, we did football earlier this year. And so now we're going to try to do softball. So, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Yeah, I'm very excited about doing this softball thing. I didn't think we were going to do this. I know you had talked about it during the football season, and I'm really glad about you inviting me in and stuff like that. I myself am a Rockport native, and I played all my years here as a Pirate, and I've had many nephews and nieces grow up here playing as a Pirate, and my daughter playing all the way up to her senior year too. Um, so, I'm glad that we have this page. So yeah, I did like you said earlier. We weren't sure about doing the softball thing. I know you threw it out there, and I wasn't sure if I really wanted to do it, but you know what? I think this is going to be an exciting season for the girls for softball, and I was all like, why not? Throw us out there. Get some recognition. Let's get some what do you call it? Respect from other teams for other towns out there. We don't have Channel 3 here. We don't have Channel 6, 10 showing up at our practices. So uh, hey, we need to throw these girls out there. They deserve it.
Right. And, we do have some people on this Pirates Cove that are not from Rockport. I know I've got some family members that follow that are not from Rockport. And, as I started doing some research, I started to find that other people, even if they're not from Rockport, there are other people that do, kind of join in. I mean, it's a public page, so you don't have to be a member, but, people kind of, tune into the page to kind of see what we're doing here and try to get some updates. I know I do that on other teams. I try to get, if they accept me, they approve me, I go in there. I like to see what's going on with other teams that we're going to play. So I guess if I do it, then why not have other people come in? So it's good recognition for our athletes, not just with softball, but the plan here on the Pirates Cove is to also do the boys baseball. We'll see if I can get over to cover some of their games. I know that we're going to be traveling. I'm going to be going to, I think, Cuero on Friday, I believe it is, to watch the boys for the first time. So, if this works out good, the plan is to go ahead and do it for football. We did that this past year, and also volleyball and basketball and soccer. It's just the varsity sports is all we can do now. So, if you're ready, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about these softball girls. Well, before we go, just let the people know that the podcast we'll be doing it every Wednesday evening. It'll be uploaded on Wednesday night, so you'll be able to see it Thursday morning. And the way it's going to go is like we're going to be talking about the game because I believe that Johnny that the girls play on Fridays, on Tuesdays and Fridays, so that the podcast is on Wednesday. We'll be talking about the game prior that they played, and then we'll be talking. So we'll be talking about when we come on Wednesday. We'll be talking about the Friday game and the Tuesday game, and then we'll be up talking about the game that's going to be following that next Friday. And we'll do this throughout the season. And I'm being told, or the expectation is these girls should make a big playoff run. I don't want to jinx them, but I hope we can get there because I hear really good things about these girls. So we also have the Park Cove a Facebook page, Twitter page, and we also have the Pirate Cove Instagram. So, hopefully we'll be able to get down there, and I'll take some pictures and be able to post it up on our Instagram page. So, there's a lot of things that we want to do. Like I said, we're moving a little slow on the Pirates Cove, but this is a big step for us in following these girls. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be exciting. I hear really good things about what I think our girls are going to do this year. So before we get started on talking about these girls, I know you sent me the roster of these girls, and so I just kind of like to throw out there the names of these girls that are the Rockport-Fulton Lady Pirates softball team, the 2020 softball team. And if I miss one, please let me know, Johnny. But I'm just going to call out their names, their class, and the position that they play. If I get a name wrong, I apologize. I'll do the best I can. So if I get a name wrong, Johnny's just step in and correct me. But I believe he gave me the numbers two. Number three, Alana Garcia. She's outfielder. She's a sophomore. Number four is Maddie Mann. She plays shortstop, outfield. She's a senior. Number five is Astasia Rowe. She's an outfielder. She's a sophomore. Uh,
Astasia.
I'm sorry, Astasia. I'm sorry. Number six, Emma Grossclose, center outfielder. She's a freshman. Number seven, Crystal Kutat.
Kuta-
Second, what is it?
Kutash.
Kutash. Okay. Second base, shortstop. She's a junior. Number nine, Alyssa Rodriguez, third base, outfielder. She's a junior. Number 10, Peyton Martinez. She plays outfield. She's a junior. Number 13 is Paige Torres. She's an outfield. She's a junior. Number 14 is Jordan Hall, first base pitcher. She's a junior. Number 15, Piper Shearer.
That one I'm not too sure about.
Okay. I'm sorry if I got the last name wrong. She's DH, first base. She's a freshman. Number 16, Jordan Garza, outfield. She's a junior. Number 19, Mikey Dominguez. She's catcher. She's a senior. And number 21, Lydia Zavala. She's outfield. She's a senior. So we've got, I believe, four seniors, Johnny, on the ball club. Is that correct?
Yeah, you still got three more on there.
You want to go ahead? Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay,
We
you got
do.
one. Number four. Go ahead.
Number 22, Sierra Galvan. She's a pitcher, first base senior. Number 34, Kelsey Palasic.
Yes.
Third base, second base junior. And number 88, Kimberlyn Gerloff. I think I'll call her Kimbo. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yes.
First base pitcher. She's a sophomore. So these are the girls, 2020 Rockport Lady Pirate softball team. And I just kind of wanted to get the names out there because throughout this podcast, we'll be talking about these girls. We'll be talking about the games, breaking down the games, and then Johnny and I always give our opinion on, and this is just an opinion from a fan's point of view. There's no putting down coaches or degrading the kids. It's all positive. But we do give our opinion on what we see and stuff like that, and just move from there. So, I guess Johnny, my first question to you is, I know that the girls they went down. They scrimmaged. They had a couple of games. And they did very good in their scrimmages. And I know that they played a couple of games. I know they had a game this past week against Orange Grove. I know through all the games that have been played so far this year, they're undefeated. Is that correct?
Correct.
So if you could just kind of talk a little bit about, I don't know how many of the games you've been there, but talk about the scrimmages. I know you sent me a list. Some of these games were blowouts. I know they had a really close game against Toloso Midway. I think we won 1-0. So if you can kind of just break down some of those games to this point of what these girls have done and what we have to look forward to as the season progresses.
Okay. I did write little notes, little breakdown, not too much, because I didn't want to take too much time just over so many games in one podcast. So as the season goes on, these breakdowns are going to be a little bit more detailed, because we have more time talking about each game. Uh, because here we got, I think, 8 games here as we go. So the first game was against Veterans Memorial, which is always a big school game. They're always up there in competition in any sport. We all know that. Uh, but we handed them a good 7-0 score.
Mm.
That was pretty impressive. Uh, Sierra gave up just one hit that entire game as a pitcher. She struck out 10 batters and only walked one.
Hmm.
You know, and Peyton Martinez was the basically the offensive player of that game, going for 2 for 3, had an RBI and a run scored in that game. Uh, so the team overall, were very impressive to start off the scrimmage like that. Again, those scrimmages, and they're not complete games. They're basically like so many runs per inning or time limit, or uh, so yeah, this game could have been really out of hand the way Sierra was pitching. These girls' bats started coming alive at the end. Their second game was against George West. They traveled to Alice to play George West. Uh, Here, they won 11-0 against George West. Uh, we had a couple home runs. Um, in fact, Mikey Dominguez, the very first pitch of the game, hit a home run over the fence. That's the way to start off a game. Very first pitch, he took it over the fence, leadoff hitter. Uh, Sierra Galvan had a grand slam that game. So these girls have some bats. They're popping them out there. Uh, so in this game, they had Sierra take a little rest on this game. They had Jordan Hall and Kimbo pitch this game, and they combined for a shutout. Them two, which is Jordan Hall came out with that win. It was that's good to have those 2-3 pitchers, number 2-3 pitchers, because Sierra can't take the whole load this year. You're gonna need some help. We found out now. In their third game, they played Alice. Alice had a pretty good pitcher. We've already beat them 2-0. This is that same place we played at, and Sierra pitched a perfect game. No runners on base. He struck out 11 people that game. Gave up no walks. Of course, a perfect game. And the only hits we had was by Mikey and Elena. They both had just the one hit. So, Alice is a good team. They have a good pitcher. Their hits weren't there. Their bats weren't there. But, they're in another district that we could face later on down the road, in the playoffs. So, we can't just ignore the Alice team. In our fourth game, we played against George West. Uh, that game was a little out of hand, winning 19-0. Uh, Again, Jordan Hall and Kimball pitched a shutout. Again, we have that number 2, number 3 pitchers, which is great. Uh, Maddie Mann hit a grand slam that game, and so did Sierra had a grand slam. So we had 2 grand slams that game. So, again, there's those power hitters right there. In our fifth game, we played against Francis Pass, which is, we had those George West and AP here at our place over here. And we beat them 15-0 with Sierra throwing a no-hitter with 9 strikeouts. Peyton Martinez was the offensive leader for that game, going 3 for 3, having 1 RBI, 3 runs scored, and she stole two bases. Peyton Martinez is a quick, she's a quicker. She's number 2 hitter, I believe. So she can get on anyway. She's a slap hitter. She puts that ball on the ground. She's gonna get on. And the sixth game, which we played against Robstown over there, I thought this was going to be a better game just because it's Robstown. They don't have those big batters, big hitters, but they have those. They like to play small ball. They like to slap. They like to bunt. Um, they couldn't do nothing this game. Uh, with her scoring 4 runs in the first inning, and 7 runs in the second inning, it was already 11-0 in the second inning, and that's all Sierra needed. And that's when we put it in Jordan Hall again, and she came up with basically the win her game on her side. So it's great to have that number 2 pitcher. We don't have to depend on Sierra. I think guys at a hand, we got it. You know, Elena Garcia was the leadoff, the big powerhouse of that game, going for 3 for 3 with a run scored and 3 RBIs. Those 3 RBIs were big. I love RBIs. I've always been a big fan of RBIs, especially like if you're that clutch hitter. You know, um, and that same day we played against Todos Midway, which is I think our toughest competition that we've had this year. Um, there are in that other 4A district, which I think they will win that district championship, in my opinion. Uh, that one was a 1-0 game. You know, uh, Sierra threw a no hitter that game herself. She had 9 strikeouts. Uh, but they also had pretty good pitcher themselves. Her name is Jocelyn Diaz. She threw some heat that kind of threw us off a little bit. That 1-0 game could turn around a lot. You never want to let go of something like that. Uh, and you only Mikey Dominguez had the 1-for-1, uh, a walk and a run scored, and she had 2 stolen bases. I believe she was the only one that actually scored the run. Yeah, she did. So I think we're going to see a lot of TM later on, or hear a lot about TM. So it's another district we need to pay attention to. Uh, and then it's our last game here, which we went to Orange Grove, which was always a good competition game. It's always been one of those tight games. One year that we had 14, 15 innings to decide the outcome of that game. Uh, Orange Grove always been that way. We've been over there to where we exchange home runs. Uh, the coaches get involved. Their coaches get involved with our stands, and they got to call security guards out there to settle down the crowd. I mean, it's always been a big rivalry, but man, our girls came out hungry that game. There was no fight by them. Winning 18-0, and that was just a total team effort. Having 16 hits that game. So they did a 10-run rule in the 5th inning. So again, they have yet to play a whole 7-inning game, and they're been blowing out all these other, 18, 19-0, 18-0. We had an 11-run 5th inning. 11 runs in the 5th inning. That's almost how you cut in football. We were always saying that fourth quarter, your 5, 6 innings, your fourth quarter. These girls put it away in that 5th inning. It's going 11 runs. Uh, there was a lot of offense. I mean, there was no single person in that game you could stand, pull out. I mean, I could just pull out the whole list, and it's just crazy. Nobody's singly out there, But Elena Garcia had went 3 for 3. She had 1 run scored, 1 RBI, and 2 stolen bases. While you had Galvan and Crystal having 4 RBIs that game. Again, RBIs is huge. It's like clutch situation. You get those runners out there, you better score them in. Uh, but yeah, that's been their offense. I mean, this year, we haven't given up. Not on wood. That game against Orange Grove, they actually was the first team that got a run at the third base. That's how strong this defense is behind that pitching. So the hitting is just there. I mean, we're scoring points. Who knows how many points we can score in a 7-inning game?
Yeah, it's gonna be scary. This is the way you need to start off a season. With the scrimmages and the games, and it seems like we've got hitters And you're not going to come out there and score 11, 15 runs every game, right? You're going to have those games, I believe, like in any sport where you're just not on offensively. So you need to have that strong defense. You need to have that strong pitching. Your defense has to be good because you're going to win those 1-0, 2-1 games. You're not going to come out offensively and be hot every game. So it seems like at the early start of the season, these softball girls, they've got to go on both offensively and defensively. There's many ways. I believe it sounds like that this team can win. That Rockport softball team, they've been good for years now. Here in Rockport, we've had a couple of girls in the past. You go from here to play college to the next level, right? To continue to play softball. And I followed some of them. I still do follow someone when I can, or something's posted about them. So it's great to see that some of these girls in the past that have played for Rockport are continuing to play softball at the next level. I think we've got three girls on this team that are going to be playing at the next level next year. Maddie Mann is already signed. I know Mikey Dominguez is signed, and Sierra Galvan signed. I know Sierra's going to Texas A&M here in Corpus, correct?
Correct.
Mikey's going to Vernon, I think I saw, but I don't know where Maddie's going.
She's going to Harding.
Harding, okay. So here at the Pirates Cove, at the next level, we got a podcast that's 365 that does call kind of stay up with the college athletes and the pro athletes. So when they get up there, we're gonna keep an eye on these girls. Maybe it won't be on the Pirates Code, but we'll keep them. I got a podcast to keep touch with these girls, and that's the good thing about what we do here, right? Once they leave, you want to continue to support these girls and see what they can do at the next level. So congratulations to these girls on their signing, and we look forward to continuing to watch them and support them as they continue their softball careers at the next level. Um, Johnny, I'd ask this question. I don't know much about this district, so can you talk a little bit about, who we're going to be playing in district and, some of these teams? Is there anybody that, I mean, because Rockport, you sent me the coaches poll. I think Rockport, I saw that they were ranked fifth in the coaches poll in 4A. Is that correct? Or am I?
Correct. Yes, we are ranked number four. I mean, number five in the 4A rankings, which is very impressive.
Have we been ranked before ever in softball?
I don't know that answer. I don't
Okay.
have.
So we're five now in the coaches poll. And district wise, can you talk a little bit about the teams? Who are we going to be facing in district? And is there any of these teams that you feel, we need to be concerned about? I mean, we need to be concerned about all the teams, right? Because even on a bad day, we can be beat. But is there any other team? On the rankings, I didn't see anybody else from this area like Rockport's ranked fifth. But is there any other teams that we need to be looking out for? I've heard you talk before that Sitton in the past has been kind of even with Rockport. But I heard that they lost a lot of their seniors, and you talked a little bit about they've got a pitcher still out there. They still got some athletes. So um, just talk a little bit about who the other teams are in our district.
Yes. Again, you can never put your guard down. You know. You never know. A lot of these girls. I don't think they had anybody playing deep in the playoffs for basketball. So Sitton's always going to be that competition game. Um, they've always had that athlete. They got that tradition going, and it's just sitting. In any sport there is. These girls have fought since they were all stars since they were 7, 8 years old. Eliminating each other back and forth in these district little league all stars. And they get into high school, same thing. One wins district the other year, the other one wins district the following year. So it's just back and forth. So it's I think Sinton would be the strongest of the teams. Then we have Beeville. Beeville is another team that you can never let your guard down. I don't know much detail behind that, what they're bringing back. But I do know Beeville is the most intimidating softball stadium you can play at. Um,
Wow.
they do bring people. They bring a lot of crowd there. It's a nice stadium. I said it's a pretty nice stadium. I mean, they got loudspeakers, music loud. They'll bring like 200 people to their games.
Mm.
Um, so it's like going to a Robstown Cal baseball game. So it's a very it's a very impressive stadium to play at. Um, Then you have I would figure that Port Lavaca was going to be another competition team, but I was told by somebody else that they really don't have anybody that came back. Uh, Again, last year was a short season. We only beat them at one of our preseason games. We barely beat them 1-0. So that's what I was kind of looking into going into this season, how they were going to be. Uh, but I was told that they all lost a lot, and they're not going to be so great. Uh, I even heard that Orange Grove that would just beat 18-19-0 could beat Port Lavaca. Uh, so I'm still not gonna let them down just because I don't know too much what's going on over there. Ingleside could get in that mix too. Ingleside has some ballers over there too. Uh, we were gonna round it off with Miller. Miller's somebody's different that's coming into our district. We've never had Miller in our district, so that's the realignment has him in our district. So that's I don't remember our girls ever playing Miller through all these years, the last few years. So I don't really know what they got either. So they can have something over there. Uh, then you have West Oso. West Oso's always been the weakest of the district. Um, I think they're still going to stay down there. I don't see them coming up from there. So that whole list is great, other than West Oso. Um, and I'm looking into the deeper into the playoffs and stuff like that, which is usually how we usually play it. I always thought we always play the Valley team first, but that's going to be the other 4A district that's going to be playing the Valley teams. And so basically, this is the same way the basketball girls did, playing the other district with Bay City and Freeport, Lamarck, Needville, Stafford, Sweeney, and West Columbia. And West Columbia is one of the teams that Rockport's going to play in this tournament, this coming up tournament. So it'd be a good lookout as far as what's going to go happen with them later on down the road. Um, but yeah, I think it's going to be a good district. I think it's going to be a good district. You can never let your guard down.
Well, I think it'll be good for our girls because you want your district to be tough. You want some tough games, and you want to grind some of these games out because I think it prepares you better for the playoffs. For this playoff run, hopefully that we're going to get on. So if you don't really have a lot of competition, you really don't know. Coaches really don't know where their team's at. So sitting will always be tough. It'll be good to play them. And then like you talked about Beeville, and now that you talked about Beeville, and I've never been to their stadium out there. I've only been to their football stadium. So when we play them down there, I'm gonna make it a point to go down there because I want to feel that atmosphere, that loud music. They
Yeah,
bring 200 people. You want to be part of that crowd. So I love the competition, even though I don't play in it, right? But as a fan, man, I get tuned into it. I know you do too when you go down there. We just can't stay quiet, right? We got to get out there and yell. So it sounds to me like it's a game that I definitely want to make and get a feel of that atmosphere because I think it's good. But we'll see what happens in this district. I mean, Rockport's, I believe it's fair to say that they're probably favored. Like you said, we really don't know about sitting. They're always tough, even though they've lost some seniors. That team is always competitive. Their coaches out there always prepare these kids, so it's never going to be an easy run. Even if whichever team is favored, you never know when you play. So I'm looking forward to the season and seeing what our girls can do. We talked about the tournament that they got coming up. The game start. They have it. What is it? Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Yeah, Thursday they got two games. They got one against Bowling, which is a 3A team. They got one against that same day, Thursday afternoon. They got one against Danbury, um, which is also a 3A team. These games are not getting too much publicity as far as who they're playing, so I really don't have no records on them.
Okay.
Bowling only got an 0-1 record, which they lost against Needville 16-1. So uh, that's kind of telling me they don't have a pitcher, maybe, or Needville's one hell of a team. So Danbury, they're 2-0. They're also a 3A school. They beat a school called Ball 4-2 and Hargrave 5-2. So those were two pretty good games. So and that'd be an interesting game to see. Uh, and Friday, They have one game against Little Cypress Morrisville. Um, I only got one game on them. They beat Kirbyville 6-2. So a lot of these games were been close. So they're they are from a 3A region for Class 4A. So and who knows? We could see them way down the road. So it depends how their district goes. And on Saturday they're playing against Terry, which I don't have a record for them. They're out of the 5A schools.
Okay.
Uh, and then they're playing Columbia, which I mentioned earlier, uh, from the other 25 4A district. That's going to be a matchup with our district in the first round of the playoffs. So that could be a good introduction as far as what that district has.
And is all these games going to be played in one certain town, or are they going to be moved to
What
different towns?
I the, I believe Thursday and Friday they're being played in Sweeney, and then Saturday's playing in Columbia. So yeah,
Wow.
so two different places.
Wow.
Uh,
It's a
it's
drive
a
up there.
Sweeney. It's a
Drive.
Sweeney. It's a Sweeney tournament where we're not playing Sweeney.
Yeah, it's wow, it's gonna be tough for the girls. They have to drive down there, play, come back, then drive back up there and play three games.
Well, a lot of them are staying over there. So
Are they? Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, it's tough to have to drive back and then get back up and go. Just the traveling alone to wear you down. But I'm glad. We'll see how they fare out in this tournament. It's gonna be very interesting. Like I said, Rockport to this point is undefeated. And so come on out and support these girls. They need all the support. And this is why we have the Pirates Cove, right? Because we want to be able to bring light to um, the win and losses, what these girls are doing, give an update to the community as to what they're doing. Talk about the individuals like you did, the stats. I like the way you broke that down and kind of talked about what the girls are doing. It's us recognizing our athletes that put in the time here at Rockport. A lot of times we don't talk about the practices. We just go and watch the game, but the time, Johnny, that they put in, being from Rockport and watching Rockport sports here for many years now, right? It's been very good the last 7, 8 years to watch Rockport sports because not only has football excelled to a point where they make the playoffs every year, but you look at that volleyball team the last 5 years. They've been in the playoffs. They've gone 2 rounds. I think maybe even 2 rounds. Our boys basketball team, they didn't make the playoffs this year, man. But the past couple of years, these guys have been district champs, and they've gone a few rounds in the playoffs. Yeah, you're looking at what the girls did this year with their coach, Coach um, uh, Coach Hale coming in her first year and going on a 20-game win streak. These girls hadn't been in the playoffs in a while, I guess, last couple of years. To come in and get a 20-game win streak and get to the third round and having these girls coming back, and it's exciting. The community gets excited about what they did this year and what they're going to do next year. The softball, they've been up in the playoffs. Our soccer teams. I know that the girls were in the soccer in the playoffs a few years ago before this COVID hit, and I think they were going into the third round. So it's been great. The baseball boys, these baseball, we got a young baseball team I hear, but I followed these guys when they were younger in the youth divisions, and these kids went very, very far. So there's a lot of talent on that baseball team as well. So Rockport sports in general, it's excited, and we want to be able to do as much as we can to, give these kids props. Like you said, the television stations don't come out to Rockport out and give them props, so we've got to do it ourselves, which is great. I like taking the time to follow these guys. I know that Johnny also on this podcast I'm going to bring up. We've got I think three or four girls that are going to be going. I don't have the names, but they're going to have a meet next month that they're going to be qualifying for a state meet, I believe, in powerlifting. I can't remember the girls' names. I'll get it all written down and I'll come back and do a podcast. But I definitely want to give them some recognition for what they're doing. I saw it earlier today during my break at work. I was getting on and they posted down there. So I want to give a shout out and some love to these girls too as well because that let's see what what they can do in this next meet that they have. I believe it's March 2nd or March 4th, somewhere around there. So I'll do a podcast on that. But this is going to be very exciting, a season for the girls, and we'll see what they do. Hopefully, they're going to make a big playoff run. But before we go, let's talk a little bit about their coaches. So I don't know much about their coaches. I know her name is Coach Reyes. I know she's been here for a while. I don't know who the assistants are, but maybe you can kind of shed a little bit of light on who Coach Reyes and how long she's been here. Well, I think we talked about. I don't think you know the exact amount of time, but the girls have been in the playoffs. I don't know who the assistants are. If you can just kind of give me the assistants, because I want to kind of send a shout out to Coach Reyes and her assistants.
Coach Garza and Coach. Oh my God, I can't remember.
That's fine. We'll get it on the
It's
next
on the
one.
top of my mind. I just had it in my mind.
We'll get on the next one. She just got some assistants, so we'll just say Coach Reyes and her assistants. Good luck. Johnny, they don't have a freshman softball team, but they do have a JV, correct?
We have a JV team, and they're
Right.
doing pretty good too.
All right. So, we don't ever really go in to talk in detail about the JV, but we'll definitely be keeping people posted on their record as well. But to Coach Reyes and her assistants, good luck this year. Expectation is that we're going to do good. Of course, we got to play the game, but it looks so far, we're off to a great start, Johnny. And I hope we can continue to roll and have a great season and make a big push in the playoffs and see how far we can go. Listen, the one thing I do want to say on this podcast is, these girls, these athletes, the last couple of years, last 3 or 4 years in every sport, they set that tone for the younger ones, right? So you got these junior high kids and these, freshmen, underclassmen that come up. They see what these seniors have done, um, these girls that were playing softball, 3 or 4 years ago, I was talking about some girls that were on the team. They were setting the tone for what we're doing now. Getting into the playoffs, the work ethic that they're putting in. These underclassmen are seeing what they're doing, and they're getting to see a taste of what hard work it pays off, right? The success that you have by going into the playoffs. So with these girls and what the past Pirates have done the last 4 years to set these underclassmen now when they become seniors, and what they're able to do to teach these younger, because their hard work does pay off, and if you put the time in and believe in the system, you put the work in, you'll be rewarded with district champs or along at the playoffs. So I think we're on the right track here in Rockport, man. And I love being a part of a fan to be able to support them. And we'll see what kind of role the Pirates Cove can play in the next few years. I plan to be around for a while. We'll see what happens. And then we're also going to try to get a hold of Coach Reyes, see if we can possibly get an interview and see if they'll let us interview some of the girls. I'm not a professional. I'm just a fan, but I do have a page, and I like to be able to go in there and show my support to what these girls are doing and let the community know. So we'll be updating stuff. And like I said, we'll be doing a podcast. Johnny and I will be doing a podcast every Wednesday. The video will be uploaded Wednesday night, going into Thursday morning. And we'll be updating, talking about the games that were played and the game that will be played on Friday. And we'll continue with our podcast as we hopefully will roll into the playoffs. And so, Johnny, it was a great uh, first episode one, right, of the Pirates Cove, and I look forward to more of these. Hopefully, we'll as we progress, we'll be able to get some interviews from the girls. But I just want to remind everybody about the Pirates Cove that we do have a Facebook page, we do have a Twitter page, an Instagram page, and it's open to the public. So if you want to post anything on any of the varsity sports, sometimes I can't get to everything. I do read, but I get pretty busy, and I just don't have time to put something on all of the sports. So if you're a parent out there and you want to show, even if when it comes to cheerleading, the drill team, the Emeralds, the band, we're all one family, right? So if you want to post stuff on the Pirates Cove, feel free to do that. I don't always have time to do everything like I'd like to, but if I miss something, you're more than welcome to do that and post what's going on. Keep us in the loop as to what's going on. You're more than welcome to do it. That's why that page is there and it's public. But like I said, we just don't put anybody down. We don't put any athletes down on this page. It's all positive. We don't put down coaches or anything. We just give our opinion. But anything, Johnny, that will be putting down a player or coach, I'll delete it right away. We're just not going to go that route. This is all about supporting the athletes and giving them props for the hard work that they put in. So like we do in football, Johnny. I enjoyed it. I look forward to doing more of these. We'll be writing up stuff on the Pirates Cove when it comes to these softball girls. But I'll give you the final word before we say adios. Anything you want to say?
I do. I want to get a little update as far as going into this tournament. Uh, we had Sierra Galvan have a little injury today. She is not going to be playing pitching this tournament. Um, so she's going to be out for 4 days. I don't know how detailed this is. So this, notice I said I was real focused on our number two and three hit pitchers. As far as what they've been doing themselves. So this will be a good test for the girls. Going to a tournament, going into district, what these girls can do without Sierra. So they're going. I'm assuming this is what I heard. This that Sierra is not going to play in this tournament. Um, which is, like I said, it'll give a good boost for the number two, three pitchers. You never know when we need them. Some teams out there go, best out of three series. The playoffs. So this is a good test. Uh, Coming around Tuesday, since we won't be doing it again till Wednesday. Tuesday's the first district game against Port Lavaca. So that's a good tune-up this tournament going into that game.
Johnny, is the game going to be played in Rockport or in Port Lavaca?
Port Lavaca.
Okay, and game time starts at
6:30.
6:30. Okay. Uh, all right. Well, Rockport, you heard it here on the Pirates Cove. I mean, go out there, support these girls. Hopefully, Sierra will be okay, and she'll be back soon. Don't know what the injury is, but hopefully everything will work out and we'll get her back on the field here as soon as possible, especially for that district game. But you're absolutely right, Johnny. This is going to be a test. This is where you find out next man up, and that's the way you got to be. Injuries do unfortunately happen in sports. And this would be a good preparation for these girls to see what they can do without their ace pitcher, right? Because if this happens down the road, you've got these girls that can step in and get the job done and move on to the next game. So it'll be a good test, and we'll see what we do in this tournament. So by the time we come back on Wednesday, we'll have the results of how well we did, or hopefully see what occurred in this tournament. It's a good test for our girls. Game is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in Sweeney. Go out if you got time to watch these girls. They're tough, and we're definitely looking for them to be district champs. We'll see what happens. And then, of course, on Tuesday, they'll come back for their first district game of the season. It'll be 6:30 in Port Lavaca against the Lady Sand Crabs, right? So, Johnny, it was great. I enjoyed it. I know you and I will be talking back throughout the week, but I'll see you back here on Wednesday evening to break these two games down. And can you just tell me quickly, or no, we'll just wait till next Wednesday to see who we play on that next Friday. So I'll stay in touch with you, man. I enjoyed it. I look forward to doing this continually throughout the season. And let's get that district championship, girls, and continue to move. I do want to say something, Johnny. Though it was really difficult. I think you and I talked about 2 years ago. These girls, some of these girls that were playing were sophomores, the seniors, right? And I think you and I were talking earlier. They did make the playoffs, but they exited the first round. They lost to Sinton. Who was it that they lost to? 1-0.
They lost against Zapata.
Zapata. Wow.
1-0.
And then, of course, last year, because of COVID, really struck this team, and they were unable to finish out the season, so they didn't play. And here we go against. Anytime you lose a year, it's tough. But I'm glad that we're able.
And these girls freshman year, they went 2 rounds of the playoffs. They beat Port Isabel, and then they lost against Beeville in the second round.
Wow, wow. Well, it looks like we got a tough team this year, and unfortunately, we couldn't play last year. But here we are this year. We do got a season, thank God, and we'll just see how far we can go. I didn't know that district was going to start this soon already. I thought we had a couple of more games before district, but it appears that we got a tournament. And then next week we're jumping right into to district. So, anything else you want to say before we call it a night?
The other assistant coach is Coach Jeffrey.
So you got
Coach Garza and Coach Jeffrey.
And then Coach Reyes is the head coach.
Correct.
All right, so we got it right here on the Pirates Code because we'll be talking about these coaches as the season progresses, right? So Johnny was great. Thanks a lot. I'll see you next Wednesday. And to everybody, please go out there. The girls will be playing the tournament Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And let's go support these girls as they work hard to be district champs and hopefully get a long playoff run. So until next Wednesday, here on the Pirates Cove, as I always do, peace
Peace
out.
out.